Jaguars, Lions, preseason week 2. Let's get it. Now, there are no sponsors for this video. However, I do want to make a couple announcements. One big announcement is that, guys, I got recommended to start a Jaguars Discord, so I went ahead and did it, and it's blowing up right now. We're almost at 100 members, and I just started a couple hours ago. So if you guys are interested in joining a Jaguars-only Discord, I put that link down below for you to join. Would really love to have you. Now, let's get into some other stuff, man. I will be live for tomorrow's game. I'm really excited about that. Bringing back the live streams. Wasn't able to go live last week because I was in Canada, but I will be back tomorrow. So very, very excited for that. And I'm also going live on Bleacher Report right after the game as well. So lots of exciting stuff going on for week 2 of this preseason. Now, tomorrow's game is at 1 o'clock. And the Jaguars have been doing joint practices with the Lions this week. The Lions hosted 2 joint practices. One on Wednesday, one on Thursday, and the Jaguars did terrific in those joint practices, especially on day 1. And even the Jaguars defense seemed to have dominated the Jaguars, or the Jaguars defense dominated the Lions offense. And that's even not only according to, Jaguar beat reporters, but also beat reporters for the Lions as well. So that is pretty cool to see. Now, I waited as long as I could to make this video, and we never did get an announcement about whether or not Jaguar starters will be playing this game. Now the Lions starters are not playing. Their coach already announced that no starters will be playing for the Lions, but the Jaguars head coach, Doug Peterson, has not announced anything yet. He's not gone public with any of that. Now, everyone is assuming that the Jaguars won't play starters because the Jaguars were able to play against Lions starters in a really controlled environment. So maybe they say, okay, we're going to hold off this week. And then next week when the Jaguars play the Dolphins, then we'll kind of do more of a dress rehearsal game. But the Jaguars already know what they have against the starting Lions offense. Why would they go against their backups? But one thing that you look at is Doug Peterson's a guy that he has said that he believes in playing starters during these preseason games. And I even looked over at what Andy Reid was doing, because Andy Reid is a disciple of, or Doug Peterson's a disciple of Andy Reid. And I'm wondering, is he playing the starters? And it looks like he is for about a half tomorrow. Now, that situation might be a little bit different because, whoever the Chiefs are playing, they did not, I think it's the Cardinals. They did not do joint practices with the Cardinals. So maybe it's going to be a little bit different. But I found that, maybe with Doug Peterson, maybe he plays starters this week and next week rests. I'd assume at least one of these games that starters will be getting the majority of the game, or not majority, but maybe like a half. So we'll see if that comes this week. Now, the Jaguars do have some injuries to note. Long snapper Ross Matzik injured his left shoulder going down, actually forcing a fumble against the Cowboys. So it'll be Carson Tinker filling in for him. Defensive lineman Foley Fatukasi is going to be out. It appears to be like a lower body injury. Kind of stinks with him because last year Foley Fatukasi was playing very well, and then he got hurt, and he came back and didn't seem the same player. I'm really hoping that it isn't a re-aggravation of the same injury, because I've seen 2 different players, when this guy's hurt versus when he's healthy. Also, cornerback / safety Antonio Johnson is going to be out. That one really stinks. He's a guy that I really liked. I mean, he's a rookie. It seems like we really got a steal out of him in the 5th round, but he's dealing with a hamstring injury, and we all know how hamstring injuries are. So we won't be able to get to see him have any action. And then offensive tackle Josh Wells is also out. I don't know what the extent of his injury is, but there are some people out there that are saying it's kind of bad. So, we'll have to see on that. So with all that said, if starters aren't playing, what is there to look for? Ben Bartch is one guy to look at. Now, he was still nursing an injury from last year during the season. Really, the first half of the last season, he hurt. He hurt his knee, and then we haven't really seen him since. He got activated from the PUP list this week, so he actually can play this week if he clears whatever. He can play, but I got to think that his strength may not be great. I mean, if he's been hurt for that long, I don't know how ready he is to get any full contact action. But we have an opening week 1 at starter at left guard. With Cam Robinson being suspended the first 4 games, you have Walker Little that's going to kick over to left tackle. You have every other offensive line spot solidified outside of the left guard. Will it be Mid-March? Will it be Tyler Shatley? Will it be Blake Hance, I think his name is, the other left guard that's been playing in there? Will it maybe be Cooper Hodges? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see who gets that left guard spot, going forward. But yeah, Ben Barch, he could still be in play to start week 1, but, you would think they'd want to get him, some playing time action sooner rather than later. And I do apologize for my voice. I'm kind of sick right now, so nose is getting stuffy as I talk. So next up, I'm going to look at the edge position. Now, we saw a lot out of Yasir Abdullah last week, a lot of potential. He definitely flashed. I remember one play, I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this play. And he goes out there and gets a sack. So I'm excited to see him. Jordan Smith is another guy that I'm excited for. Deshaun Dixon, I'm not excited to see Chase on. Look, there's definitely some room out here for edge rusher to potentially really get some playing time this year. I mean, Clowney just signed with the Ravens like today or yesterday, and like the edge market is drying up. I don't know how serious the Jaguars are about potentially getting another edge rusher, but for now, it seems like all of our edge rushers are currently on the 90-man roster somewhere. So I don't think we're getting any outside help. So this is what we've got. So we're going to continue to see these guys grow and progress. Another guy I'm going to look for is Anton Harrison. I don't know if he'll play, but I think Doug Peterson does like, giving rookies some looks. So who knows if they decide that, they want to see some extensive looks out of Anton Harrison. I've been really impressed with him. His footwork is really good. He seems like a nasty player. He's, smart, very instinctual. I think the Jaguars may have really hit this pick out of the park, and I'm really hoping they do, because they could use a good right tackle for the next 4 or 5 years. Now, next up is cornerback Gregory Jr. Now, with Antonio Johnson out, he could potentially line his way up as a starter. Now, I know we have Trey Herndon, but, Trey Herndon has his limitations, especially playing man. The Jaguars are expecting to play a lot of zone this year. Maybe they're going to feel comfortable with Trey Herndon in their playing, but, Trey Herndon does lack certain abilities, certain traits that you want in a slot cornerback or cornerback in general. And then Gregory Jr. had a pretty good game last week, forcing a fumble. He also recovering a fumble. He really played his way into, earning some significant looks over there at that spot. So, Gregory Jr. is one guy to look at. Another thing to look at is a wide receiver 6 spot. Look, it seems like competition is really heating up at that spot. You got certain roster locks, but guys that are looking to make their way on the roster is Kevin Austin Jr., Jacob Harris, Tim Jones, Kendrick Pryor, Seth Williams. These are all guys that, are very formidable players that, could earn, that last wide receiver spot. So I want to see guys continue to earn, their way through that spot and continue to flash and make some good plays. Now, next up is Brandon McManus. Now, we didn't get to see him really outside of kickoffs last week because of the injury to Ross Matzik. Brandon McManus, brand new kicker that we got from the Denver Broncos. They cut him because he's too much money. The Jaguars scooped him because we needed a kicker with an actual leg that can make 55-plus yard kicks. So Brandon McManus, I hope to, maybe see a field goal made out of him. We'll see. Now, last thing I'm going to mention is America's hero this week, or even North America's hero, because you got to include Canada in there, and that is quarterback Nathan Rourke. Last week, he had the play of the week. Maybe he's going to have the whole play of the preseason. I mean, the play he had on the touchdown throw was insane, with dodging sacks, setting his feet, making the strike. He was 9 for 17 last week, 153 yards throwing, 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, 0 interceptions. He's a guy that's exciting to watch. I want to see him play. We're going to get to see some action out of him again. And, maybe he can work his way on the Jaguars with a roster spot. Like, I don't think he's going to – I'm not one of those people that think he's going to become the quarterback too. But I do wonder if he can be good enough to maybe make the Jaguars say, hey, let's keep a third quarterback on the roster and see how it goes. So, yeah, those are some of my takes. Week 2 is here. Tune in tomorrow, guys. Live stream on the YouTube channel, live stream on Bleacher Report. Don't forget to join my Discord and also follow me on all my socials at UCF_Jaguar on the X, on Instagram. And yeah, we're getting going. Let's go, Jags. See y'all tomorrow.